This time I'm gonna show you how to export an animation from 3D Max into IMVU. First thing, we're gonna need to open our rigged master avatar, which I have saved over here, rigged avatar master, and it starts us off like this. I'm gonna press P to go into perspective. With the middle mouse button I can move around, or if I press Alt and the middle mouse button I can rotate around. I'm gonna press F3 to go back into solid mesh. I'm gonna move the animation slider from 0 to 50 and turn on auto key. Now with auto key on, I can move parts of the body around and it will create an animation for me. Now I'm gonna select the pelvis node, gonna move it back about here, almost like sitting. Then I'm gonna rotate it back. Now I'm gonna select her hand and I'm gonna move it back. You notice that I did not move any bone yet. All I moved are the dummies, which is the advantage you get when you use the rigged avatar. Okay, now I'm gonna rotate the hand a bit. Now here you can see that the hand is going to rotate kind of strangely, not as a human would rotate. That's why you have to go into the coordination system and change the coordination to local. This way the object will move depending on its orientation, not on the viewport. Which means that I can move the hand like that now. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other hand. Then here you have the manipulate and select, which you can see you have all these little arrows and things here. You can't really move them until you turn on the manipulate and select button. Now I can select this circle here and I can move it, which is actually the head. The slider here is the left to right of the head. We have these here, which are the fingers. Okay, so this is going to be the basic animation we're going to make. Now I actually made a pose now, but because I had auto key on, it created animation from 0 to 50 going from one pose to the other. So if you go back to 0 and you play it, you actually created an animation, which we'll call the matrix animation. Okay. Now going to her feet, you have this node here called female 03 master root. With this node selected, go to File, Export. I'm gonna just save it on the desktop as a cal 3D animation file. I'm gonna name it test. I'm gonna go into browse and I'm going to find the skeleton, which actually doesn't come with the rigged avatar master. You need to get the waiting pose zip from the education center and use the skeleton master they have in there. Do not export your own skeleton master. You need to use their skeleton or it will not work. Okay, now then go to next. Here you can select which bones you want the animations to be exported for. Because I wanted to export all the animation for all the body, not just some parts or not just the hand or not just the foot, I wanted to export everything. I'm gonna leave everything selected and I'm gonna go to next. Here you select from which frame to which frame you want it to animate, to export the animation. I'm gonna select from 0 to 50 because we created our animation from 0 to 50. So I'm gonna leave it there and I'm just gonna press finish. Now with this done, you need to go into the previewer. Okay, here we are in the previewer. You can go to File, Create Derivation Product, and if you want to make poses, you have to use the empty closing, derive empty closing. You won't actually be making closing, but that's the only way that you get animations to work. Okay, here we are now, and we have our avatar. We're going to go into Actions tab. We're going to add an action. Let's call it Test. And here we're going to select an avatar animation. We're going to find where we exported our animation. And we're going to send the composition to replace, so it does exactly as it did in 3D Max. We do not want it to average or anything like that. After this is done, just click Apply Changes and let's test it out. you can see that it's playing our animation. Just for fun, let's set the loops to 0, which will make it constantly loop. And let's play this. And that seems fine. And that's just the basic of exporting animation from 3D Studio Max into IMVU.